Every single day, you perform a ritual so deeply woven into your life that you no longer even notice it. You wake up, reach for a cold glass pane of glass and silicon, and ask an invisible entity to solve your problems, direct your travels, and organize your memories. This entity has become a permanent layer of human consciousness, an omnipresent architect of our reality that manages over 90% of the world's curiosity. It is an empire built entirely on something we give away for free every millisecond of our lives: our attention, our patterns, and our data. But before it became an uncheckable utility, it was just an academic anomaly born in a cramped room where two young men chose to look at the expanding wilderness of the early internet in a completely counterintuitive way. To understand how we arrived here, we have to look back at the mid-1990s, an era when the digital world felt like a massive, chaotic library where all the books had been dumped onto the floor in the dark. Finding a specific piece of information was an exhausting exercise in frustration, and the early giants of the era thought the solution was to build massive, brightly lit digital malls. Companies like Yahoo or Excite wanted to keep you trapped inside their walls, surrounding you with flashing banner ads, weather updates, horoscope columns, and generic news feeds, because they believed that the longer you stayed on their homepage, the more money they could extract from your presence. The prevailing business wisdom dictated that a successful website should be a destination, a sticky web designed to capture and hold human attention for as long as humanly possible. Then came two graduate students at Stanford University, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, who looked at this crowded, noisy landscape and envisioned a completely opposite philosophy. They realized that the true value of a network didn't lie in trapping people inside a walled garden, but in setting them free by building a perfect bridge to exactly where they wanted to go. Their initial project, which they curiously named Backrub, before settling on a name derived from a mathematical term for a 1, followed by 100 zeros, treated the web not as a collection of isolated destinations, but as a living web of human citations. They noticed that when someone creates a web page and links to another, they are making a quiet recommendation, casting a vote of confidence in the value of that destination. By tracking these invisible threads of connection through an algorithm they called PageRank, they discovered they could rank the entire internet based on human trust, rather than just matching repetitive keywords on a page. When they launched their minimalist search engine in '98, it shocked the tech sector because it looked completely broken by design. Instead of a colorful, ad-cluttered portal designed to keep you clicking around, users were greeted by a stark, pristine white expanse containing absolutely nothing but a simple logo and a solitary rectangular box. It didn't try to sell you anything, it didn't tell you the weather, and it didn't force you to read the morning news headlines. Its only goal was to get you away from its page as fast as humanly possible by providing the exact answer you needed in a fraction of a second. This introduces our very first counterintuitive turn. Google became the most dominant destination on Earth, precisely because its primary objective was to help you leave it. By prioritizing the user's immediate objective over short-term advertising dollars, they built a deep, unshakable psychological trust with millions of people who realized that this clean white box was the most efficient gateway to human knowledge ever constructed. However, running a massive infrastructure that downloads and maps the entire internet every single day requires an astronomical amount of expensive hardware, electricity, and engineering talent. By the year 2000, the young company was burning through its venture capital at an alarming rate, and the founders faced intense pressure to finally figure out how to transform their massive popularity into actual revenue. If they adopted the aggressive, flashing banner ads of their competitors, they would destroy the clean, fast, trust-based user experience that made them famous in the first place. Instead of compromising their values, they looked at the problem through a different lens and invented a revolutionary system called AdWords, which quietly changed the global economy forever. Instead of forcing irrelevant, annoying products into your vision, they decided to show small, text-based advertisements that perfectly matched what you were actively searching for at that exact second. If you searched for a plumber in your neighborhood, you would see a simple text link for a local plumbing service right next to your search results. It was a brilliant realization. The most valuable moment to advertise a product to a human being is not when they are trying to read the news or watch a video, but at the exact moment they are actively seeking a solution to a problem. They didn't just sell these ad slots to the highest bidder. They created a dynamic auction system where an advertiser only paid if a user actually clicked on the link. This shifted the power dynamic entirely, aligning the financial incentives of the company, the advertiser, and the everyday user into a single, highly efficient loop. This brings us to the second massive turning point in our story, where the company transitioned from a simple tool into an invisible, all-seeing data machine. As billions of dollars began pouring into their bank accounts, the leadership realized that search data was only the first piece of a much larger puzzle. To maintain their dominance, they needed to map not just the public internet, but the deeply personal architecture of our daily lives. They quietly began launching and acquiring a suite of brilliant free utilities designed to sit at every major intersection of human activity. They gave us Gmail, offering an unprecedented amount of free storage space that meant we never had to delete a message again. And in exchange, we gave them a direct window into our professional conversations, receipts, and personal flights. They built Google Maps, sending an army of specialized vehicles to photograph every street and highway on Earth, providing us with flawless navigation while quietly learning where we work, where we eat, and where we spend our weekends. Then, they made one of the most brilliant defensive acquisitions in business history by purchasing a struggling video-sharing startup called YouTube for $1.65 billion, a price tag that many contemporary analysts thought was completely insane. Today, that single platform acts as the world's television, streaming billions of hours of content every day and capturing the intimate cultural pulse of an entire generation. They developed the Android operating system and gave it away to smartphone manufacturers for free, ensuring that even if you weren't using a desktop computer, their software would be sitting comfortably inside your pocket, tracking your physical location, your movement patterns, and your daily app usage. Every single one of these brilliant, indispensable products was offered to the public completely free of charge, creating a golden cage of convenience that no one wanted to escape. But as the old economic adage goes, if you are not paying for the product, then you are the product being sold. The true brilliance of this multi-layered ecosystem wasn't just the individual utility of each app, but the way they all funnel data into a single, unified profile of your identity. When you use these services, you are continuously feeding an incredibly sophisticated predictive engine that understands your fears, your financial desires, your health anxieties, and your secret aspirations better than your closest friends or family members do. This deep pool of behavioral data allows them to sell targeted attention to advertisers with an astonishing level of accuracy, turning human psychology into a highly predictable, mathematically optimized science. This realization leads us to our final, deeply philosophical turn. Google's ultimate power does not stem from its advanced algorithms, its massive data centers, or its brilliant computer scientists. Its true power is derived from our own collective dependency, a quiet capitulation where we have traded our privacy, our attention, and our cognitive autonomy for the sheer luxury of convenience. We cannot simply choose to stop using it, because it has successfully integrated itself into the very foundational infrastructure of modern society, from corporate communication channels to public education systems. It has become the default lens through which we view, interpret, and navigate the modern world, making it virtually impossible to exist in the modern economy without leaving a trail of digital breadcrumbs in their servers. As we look toward the future, the company is quietly transitioning from an organization that helps you search for information into an entity that anticipates and generates your answers before you even finish formulating the question. The rise of sophisticated artificial intelligence means they are no longer just indexing the world's knowledge. They are actively shaping how that knowledge is synthesized, curated, and delivered to your mind. The simple, clean white box that once promised to set us free has evolved into an all-encompassing cognitive environment that gently nudges our choices, guides our attention, and defines our collective reality. It is a testament to the fact that the most enduring empires are never conquered by raw physical force, but are built quietly, day by day, through the seamless mastery of our deepest human vulnerabilities and our daily habits. Ultimately, we are left to ponder a poignant question as we move forward into this highly automated era. When an invisible entity knows everything about who we are, where we are going, and what we desire, who is truly in control of the journey?